What's up, Denver, Colorado? This is Jake with Illusion of Kolor's Painting, the League of Extraordinary Painters. Today I wanted to demonstrate how we're going to be removing this wallpaper from this wall and getting ready to spray texture, knockdown texture to match it with the other wall. Today we're going to be using this tool. It's a wallpaper scoring tool. It has these teeth in here which are basically going to puncture holes inside the wallpaper, and then we're going to use a simple old Wagner steamer. It's going to steam and help that glue paper release, and then we're going to scrape it off. So we'll get started and we'll show you real quick. So this is how the scoring tool works. It's kind of go like this. And what that's doing is you want to make sure you put a lot of holes in it, but it's basically going to allow the steam to break through this hard layer and get to the glue behind it and let it release. Alright, so right now what we're going to do is I've already took the scouring tool and went over the whole wall, punctured holes through the wallpaper, and now what we're going to do is use a sponge. If you come over here I can show you. This is a hot water that has some basic wallpaper removing soap. It loosens up the glue. And basically starting from the top down, we just kind of wet the wallpaper with this. And then what's going to happen is the sponge is pushing all this soapy water behind the wallpaper and loosening up that glue. So when I hit it with that steamer, I'll give you a little demonstration right now. Steamer, you can get this at any Home Depot or Walmart or whatever, or Sherwin-Williams or paint store, 50, 60 bucks. You basically put it up against the wallpaper. What I like to do is always start high up here and work my way coming down to the bottom, because what happens is water is going to drip down anyways, so that hot water kind of helps loosen it up. And what we can do, let's see it. I don't think it's ready yet, but we could try. You take this either 5-in-1 or a scraper. You might have to soak it a couple times, because what we don't want to do is try digging and create these little gouges. So I'm actually going to go ahead and wet this whole wall up. And since we're only doing this wall, these two walls here, I'm going to wet it up pretty good and let this soak in for a bit, and then come back and scrape it. So now what I've done is I've heated up the steamer, basically wallpaper remover, and started scraping, and I've noticed that there's actually just a glue layer and there's already texture. Sometimes they smooth out. The proper way to do wallpapers, you'd actually smooth out the wall, but they've used a paste to fill in the texture, so I'm not going to have to really blow texture. What I'm doing is just soaking up the wall, soaking up the glue with this heat, because there's layers. You can see this glue is actually coming off on my finger, and so we're going to have to sponge that down later, but in the meantime I got to get off this first layer right here. So all you do basically is just try not to gouge the wall, so we have less repairs as possible. But once you get it wet like this, you should be able to just come underneath it like that. And you can see all that glue layer that's coming off too. And you can see the texture underneath. I put a drop cloth here just so the water doesn't like soak up the floors of the baseboard. We already have plastic down, but just as an extra layer of precaution, because the water drips down. And so this whole wall right here will take me the rest of the day to just kind of scrape, and then you got to clean and get the wall as smooth as possible. We'll get it ready for paint. Alright, so I've gotten some of the top layer off the wall right now, and what I'm doing right now is using the steamer to basically loosen up the glue and the tape. Try to get on as much as you can. What you want to do is you want to get as much off as you can with one scrape. You don't want to have to keep scraping multiple coats, but sometimes wallpaper comes in different layers. So this layer, how they did it is they actually had a glue layer that they put on, probably squeegeed on or rolled on, and then sanded and put the actual paper backing that comes behind the wallpaper, rolled it on. And so you can see that most of it's coming off. We're still gonna have to come back behind here and sponge out to get it out of the texture and fix holes. But this just basically shows you have to find basically a system that works. So right now I'm gonna take this all the way down to the floor and then go up and do the same thing and then sponge all this off. And I'm gonna finish off this wall today and continue to work on the other wall tomorrow. Alright, so now what I've done is I've basically removed all the wallpaper covering, and what we have left is the glue layer, which is in between the crevices of this knockdown texture. So what we're going to do is, I have this bucket here of soapy water, and it's soaked from basically a wallpaper removing soap that we use to remove this. And what we're going to do is remove all this texture just like this. Probably squeeze out a little bit less water. Just kind of cleaning the wall, getting all that glue residue off of there. And that's what it should look like right about there. So once I've gone ahead and removed all the glue from all those walls, from these two walls here, we're gonna caulk around there, and we might want to even put a primer coat on this before you go ahead and paint. Make sure you use some good premium grade quality paint. And thank you very much for watching this tutorial. Go ahead and click the link below. Follow us on our Facebook page, Instagram, Twitter, Illusion of Kolors Inc, or www.illusionofkolor.com. Thank you very much.